All right, tell me about the collaboration that Robben Island has just entered in with Google.
Yes, this collaboration is very exciting for us, and it's part of the beginning of a long journey that we are hoping to enter with Google. And like they said during their presentation, they are still looking at doing more with our exhibitions, with our images, and also working with our tour guides to try and make sure that different sides of the story are told. And like they said also, they are looking at the possibility of the story being translated into different languages so that as many people as possible are able to access it. And the way we are looking at it, the virtual tour is not going to replace the actual tour when people want to visit. So I think it's going to inspire more people to want to come to the island, because digitalization is the way to go. For us, it makes sure that we stay relevant, we embrace technology. It does not affect the legitimacy and the authenticity of the Robben Island experience.
So you're not worried that people aren't going to come here anymore because they can just experience Robben Island from their computer. You're not worried about that?
No, we are definitely not, because this is how people are doing things. Before you visit a country or before you go to a hotel, people are now relying on technology. They go online, check what that place can offer in terms of facilities. So it's no longer the days in the past where you just go to a place without even knowing and hoping that they've got what you need. So in fact, I think what this is going to be a serious challenge for us, because now what people see on TV, or not on TV, online, they will want to see when they arrive here. So it means that we need to make sure that we improve in terms of our customer services, our visitor experience, and what we offer to the visitors must be exactly the same as promised in that app.
Now, you were speaking a little bit earlier about creating jobs for South Africans here on Robben Island through creating souvenirs. Can you explain a little more to us about that?
Yes, we are partnering with the Department of Tourism, because we are talking about possibilities that say, when you visit Robben Island, you can't just be taking T-shirt, but there is a way in which one could maybe use some of the material that is authentic to the island to say, let's maybe pieces of the island or pieces of stone or things like that that could be packaged, like what it happens when you visit other sites all over the world. You package them, and you use also local people to be able to do that. For example, there used to be a craft workshop on the island, or where during the days of political imprisonment, people used to make some material. So we could even actually do that as part of trying to make history relevant, because it's not something new that people were making jewelry and all kinds of things while on the island. So that's what we have in mind with the Department of Tourism, to say, let's enhance the experience, let's offer more than just listening to the story and then taking the ferry back to the mainland.
When do you plan to start this project?
Yes, we are still working on the exact details with the Department of Tourism, but it's things that we want to achieve during this financial year.
Now, something else you mentioned was that Robben Island is trying to be more green in what they're doing. Can you expand on that?
Yes, the reason I was talking about greening the island or embracing green technology is the fact that at the moment the island uses diesel to generate its electricity, and that diesel also is used to make sure that we the power plant, not only the power plant but also the water desalination plant. And for everything that we do, we rely heavily on diesel, which is very expensive, but also not very green, especially for a World Heritage site. So what we are working with on now is to try to look at the feasibility of offering much more greener energy, much more environmentally friendly energy. So the Department of Tourism is actually interested in that, and they are working with us to try and find a solution to that problem.
That's great. Now, you mentioned that sometimes out of your own budget comes money for waste removal and other municipality services like that. Is that normal for a World Heritage site like Robben Island?
No, it's not normal. Especially when one looks at South Africa as a museum and as a heritage site, we're not supposed to be dealing with municipal services. And that's what compounds our problems, because instead of actually using that money for heritage programs, education programs, things that relate to tour guiding and things like that, we use that money to provide municipal services. So it's something that we are busy now talking to the Department of Arts and Culture and Department of Public Works to make sure that actually the right people that are supposed to maintain the island do so, not us, because our core business is conservation of heritage. It's not provision of municipal services.
What do you need to change that?
Now, as I said, we are already in discussions with the Department of Arts and Culture and the Department of Public Works, because Public Works is a custodian of all state properties, and they're supposed to be the one that do that job. And we are in discussions with them to make sure that at least within this either during this month or next month, they come here and they take over all that responsibility so that we don't have to worry about it.
All right, now everyone in each different corner of the world is now going to be able to experience Robben Island. What do you hope they take away from that experience?
Yeah, I think because what we want to share with the world is the triumph of the human spirit over adversity and injustice. And I think as they navigate, because it's not going to be something that you just browse, it's something that you explore, you take your time, and there's emotions into the telling of that story. And I'm hoping that as people navigate and go through that online, they are able, empowered to understand more about the history of South Africa. And also not only South Africa, but also the history of the other Southern African countries that contributed to our liberation. People from Namibia were imprisoned on this island. So the people from that country have a valid claim to the story of Robben Island. People from Zimbabwe, people from Mozambique, and people from Botswana. So what I think I'm expecting an appreciation of the broader context of the struggle, instead of just narrowing it to say only South Africans suffered on Robben Island.
Now, it's interesting you bring that up. You have some interesting views on the xenophobia that's happening now in South Africa. You said we're not only seeing it on the streets, but we're also seeing it in the boardroom. What did you mean when you said that?
No, I was saying I think it's a problem that South Africa has to confront, because it's not only confined to people living in hostels or people that are walking up and down the street. I think if it were, that would be easy to contain, but the fact that people are even using technology to spread messages that were fueling fire and encouraging people to attack, it means we need to do more work even with people who might not fit your profile of people that are on the street, but people who are highly educated, but also might not even be careful about the use of language, the words they use, the choice of words, and all of that. And I think for us as Robben Island, I was saying you can't have the Department of Tourism encouraging the world to come to South Africa, while we also have South Africans saying they don't want people here. And for us as a museum, we are a heritage site because the people of Africa supported our proposal or our listing document to the United Nations, to UNESCO. So if it was not for the support from the African continent, we would not be a World Heritage Site. So that's what I'm highlighting, that it's very important that we always realize that in South Africa, we've got so many World Heritage Sites today. It's because of the support from our brothers and sisters and from our fellow heritage practitioners from the African continent.